Good day, mates. Did you know it's illegal to wear hot pink pants after midday on Sundays in Victoria, Australia? Now that's a fashion crime, literally. I mean, can you imagine the fashion police marching up to you, ticket book in hand, ready to dish out fines for daring to don those vibrant trousers? It's downright outrageous, yet undeniably intriguing. A land of sun, surf, and peculiar penal codes. Who would have thought? Stay tuned to unravel more of these peculiar Australian laws. In Australia, it's illegal to keep a pet rabbit unless you're a magician. Now, that's pulling a law out of a hat. Imagine the surprise when you find out that the fluffy, adorable bunny you've been cuddling could land you in a spot of bother with the law. Yes, you heard right. Down under, rabbits are considered pests due to their destructive nature and the havoc they wreak on native flora and fauna. To combat this, the government has deemed it illegal to keep a pet rabbit unless you're a magician. It seems like the Aussie lawmakers have a sense of humor, doesn't it? But hold on, the rabbit hole of Australian wildlife laws goes deeper. In Queensland, if you disrupt a wedding or funeral by releasing 50 or more balloons, you're breaking the law. You better think twice before planning that grand gesture of love or a touching tribute. Queensland's law against mass balloon releases was enacted to protect wildlife from the dangers of discarded balloon debris. While these laws might seem strange to outsiders, they reflect Australia's commitment to preserving its unique ecosystem. The continent is home to a multitude of species found nowhere else on Earth, and these laws help ensure their survival. Here's another head-scratcher for you. Did you know that it's illegal to keep a pet kangaroo in Victoria unless you have a disabled kangaroo permit? Yes, you need a permit to keep the national symbol as a pet. The law aims to prevent the domestication of wild kangaroos, which could disrupt their natural behavior and habitat. And just when you thought it couldn't get weirder, in Western Australia, it's illegal to possess 50 kilograms or more of potatoes. While not strictly a wildlife law, it's a testament to the quirky and often baffling world of Australian legislation. So, next time you're in Australia, remember to leave your rabbit at home unless you can pull a magic trick. Ever thought of cleaning your car with used underwear in Melbourne? Well, think again. Australia, the land of kangaroos and koalas, is not just home to unique wildlife and breathtaking landscapes, but also to some peculiar road laws. Let's talk about a couple of them that might just leave you scratching your head in bewilderment. First on our list is the city of Melbourne, where it is illegal to clean or polish your car with used underwear. Yes, you heard that right. Melbourne law explicitly states that it's an offense to use anything that could be considered offensive or obscene for car cleaning. And apparently, used undergarments fall into this category. So, if you're planning a car wash this weekend in Melbourne, you might want to stick to a sponge and some good old-fashioned soap and water, unless you fancy a run-in with the law. Now, let's take a detour into the rural areas of Australia. If you're driving in the outback, you're required to honk your horn when passing another car. This law was originally put in place to alert other drivers of your presence, especially around blind corners or dusty roads where visibility can be poor. But remember, it's not a suggestion, it's a requirement. So, when you're cruising down those scenic country roads, don't forget to give a friendly toot to your fellow road users. But wait, there's more. Have you ever seen a goat, dog, or any other animal tied to a moving vehicle? Well, in Australia, such an act can land you a hefty fine. It's considered animal cruelty, which is something Australians take very seriously. So, if you're thinking of tethering your pet goat to your car for a quick trot, you might want to reconsider. Australia's road laws are undeniably unique, and they serve as a reminder that laws can be as diverse as the countries they come from. So, whether you're a local or a tourist, it's always good to know the rules of the road. So keep your undergarments away from your vehicle and your hands on the horn. Love potatoes? Well, in Western Australia, it's illegal to possess 50 kilograms of potatoes. That's a lot of mashed potatoes. You might think we're pulling your leg, but this is an actual law. It's part of the Marketing of Potatoes Act, 1946, and it's no small potatoes, pardon the pun. If you're caught with more than 50 kilograms of the starchy goodness, you could be looking at a hefty fine. So if you're planning a potato party, think twice about how many spuds you're stocking up on. But potatoes aren't the only food subject to odd laws down under. Let's head over to Queensland, where they've got a curious law concerning balloons, those filled with helium to be precise. In Queensland, it's illegal to disrupt a wedding or funeral by releasing 50 or more balloons at once. This is part of Queensland's Environmental Protection Act, aiming to reduce litter and protect wildlife. But if you were planning a grand balloon release at your next event, you might want to reconsider. Fines for this balloon bonanza can reach up to $1,000. While we're in Queensland, let's talk about fruit. In particular, the durian, a fruit so smelly it's been banned in public places in several countries. But in Queensland, it's a different story. You can't sell a durian unless it's perfectly ripe. Yes, you heard that right. Under the Food Act 2006, selling underripe or overripe durians is a punishable offence. So, whether you're a potato hoarder, balloon enthusiast, or a durian vendor, remember these peculiar food laws when you're in Australia. Because the last thing you want is to find yourself on the wrong side of the law for having too many potatoes or balloons, or an imperfect durian. Remember, when in Australia, keep your potato stash under control. Now, for the weirdest law of them all. In Australia, it's illegal to name any animal you plan to eat. I guess Babe was safe after all. Imagine this. You've got a pet chicken. You've raised it from a chick, fed it, groomed it, and nurtured it. You've even given it a name, let's say Clucky. But here's the catch in Australia. Once you've named that chicken, you can't cook it up for Sunday roast. It's a strange law, and it's as real as the kangaroos hopping in the outback. You might be wondering, why such a law? Well, it's actually a remnant from the olden days. It was believed that naming an animal would create an emotional bond with it, making it more of a pet than a food source. And in a land where survival often depended on your livestock, it was crucial not to get too attached. Now, let's spin the globe to the movie world. Remember the film Babe, the cute little pig that could talk and herd sheep? Well, in the eyes of Australian law, Babe was never destined for the dinner table. Because Farmer Hoggett named him, Babe was safe from becoming bacon. In reality, it's doubtful anyone's going to knock on your door and arrest you for calling your future dinner Clucky. But isn't it fascinating to learn about these peculiar laws? They give us a glimpse into the culture and history of places we may not have ever visited. And there you have it, folks. The weirdest law in Australia where you can't name your dinner. It's an oddity, a relic of the past, a quirk that makes Australia the unique place it is. So next time you're down under, remember these rules, or you might find yourself in a spot of bother. Australia, a land of stunning beauty, unique wildlife, and some of the most bizarre laws you'll ever hear. We've had quite a journey today, haven't we, mates? Diving headfirst into the strange and humorous world of Aussie law, from the peculiarities of our wildlife rules to the absurdities of road regulations. Let's not forget those outlandish food laws. Yes, indeed, we Aussies do have a unique way of handling things, don't we? But it's all part of what makes Australia so wonderfully unique. So if you're planning on visiting this great land down under, remember to keep these quirky laws in mind, just in case you find yourself in a pickle. And of course, we mustn't forget the weirdest of them all. The laws that make you scratch your head and question their very existence. But as odd as they may seem, they're part of what makes Australia, well, Australia. A place where the unexpected is just around the corner, and where the ordinary often turns into the extraordinary. So there you have it, folks. Some of Australia's weirdest laws. Just remember, no hot pink pants on Sundays, leave your rabbits at home, and keep your potatoes to a minimum. Until next time, mates.